Hi, welcome back. Let's look at another exam question from paper 2, a calculator question. Chris, Debbie, and Errol share some money in a ratio of 3 to 4 to 2. Debbie gets £120. Chris then gives some of his share to Debbie and some of his share to Errol. The money that Chris, Debbie, and Errol each have is now in the ratio of 2 to 5 to 3. How much money did Chris give to Errol? Right, first things first, if you just write this out, so the ratio between Chris, Debbie, and Errol to begin with was 3 to 4 to 2. That was the initial um, ratio. Now we know that Debbie got 4 shares, and that was equivalent to £120. So 4 shares was equal to £120. So from that we can find out what would 1 share be. So if we do 120 divided by 4, because she had 4 shares, that gives us the amount for 1 share. So that's £30. So 1 share is equivalent to £30. So based on that, we know that Debbie had £120. Chris would get £90 and Errol would get £60. Right, so Chris then gives some of his share to Debbie and some of his share to Errol. The money that Chris, Debbie, and Errol each now have is in a ratio of 2 to 5 to 3. So we need to look at how much money was there to begin with, the total amount of money to begin with. That same amount of money was split in within amongst a new ratio, right? So if we add all of these together, there was a total of 90 plus 120 plus 60, there was a total of £270 to begin with. That £270 was now split in the ratio of, if you just rewrite that once again, in the ratio of 2 to 5 to 3. Now, if we add the total ratios together, the total number of shares together, 2 to 5 to 3, that gives us 10 shares, right? £270 was split amongst 10 shares, right? So that means for the new ratio, 1 share would be equivalent to £27, right? And if we multiply 27 by 2, that gives us how much money Chris would have gotten, which would be £54. For Debbie, that would be 27 times 5, which is £135. And then for Errol, that would be 27 times 3, which is £81. Now, the question said, how much money did Chris give to Errol? So Errol had £60 in the initial ratio, and in the second ratio, he had £81. So if we work out the difference between them, which is £21, that's how much money Chris had given to Errol. So the final answer is £21. Hope that makes sense. Let me know if you got any questions in the comments.